Good evening, Rainbow Six Siege fans, and welcome on in to the Canadian Collegiate League Semifinals matchup tonight. We're treated to another epic battle as the number 2 seed University of Waterloo goes head-to-head with the number 3 seed ETS Esports for a spot in the grand finals. I'm your host, Zach Vexel, and I'll be bringing you all the action, strategy, and clutch plays throughout this high-stakes series. But I am not alone. Let me pass it on over to my co-caster, Bianca, to dive into what we can expect from these two powerhouse teams.
Woo! Welcome, guys, to semifinals. If you guys were in Montreal for the major, then I'm sure you guys are happy to be back to watch the semifinal games. I know a lot of the players from either of these teams ended up going to Montreal, so I'm sure they've been practicing and they're ready for what's to come tonight. Both these teams that I think everybody should be familiar with. A lot of the players that have played for them are very familiar. They're very competitive and kind of known, at least in this league. That's for sure. I feel like I forget so many players, but the ones that are going to be playing tonight, I definitely recognize a lot of them. Great potential and great players that are going to be playing for this BO3. And I did not know that you were Zekvex. I thought that you were the guy with no camera.
I
I'm
am
just
Zach
kidding.
Vexel, the guy with no camera. You know, it's been a high stakes, very thrilling season so far. So let's go ahead and take a look, though, at where we got throughout this bracket, where we're going to be in the bracket. Let's take a look at the bracket. As we can see, St. Clair Saints made their way on into the grand finals already, still undefeated all season long, all the way through playoffs. But
Wow.
last Monday, I tell you what, that was quite the matchup they had against Seneca, who's waiting in the third place slot for the loser of our match tonight. It does come down to this match, though, ETS Esports against University of Waterloo. Who is going to make it? Who is going to meet St. Clair? And who is going to be fighting Seneca for that third place matchup? Bianca, you were talking a little bit about the team, so I think it's about time we check out some of these teams and see who exactly is on ETS's roster.
Yes. Okay. Looking at the roster for ETS, we're gonna have Wizify Otter. We were talking about this. It's either Faco or FICO, something like that. Whatever it is, they're here and they're here to game. We got Munchies and we have a Forky's. Pretty familiar with all of these players, so hopefully they give us a great performance tonight. And other than ETS, I want to take a look at the other roster for the boys on Waterloo, if that will come up, okay? I mean, it won't.
University of Waterloo coming on in here. It is Oog's Ironic Mod, Gugger, and Dark. Two exciting matchups between these teams, and honestly, to come in as the number 2 and number 3 seed, they have put on quite the fight, and they are going to give us quite the showing tonight. But who are our iconic players? Who are the ones we need to keep an eye out for? It is going to be FICO and Gugger. Take a look at these KDs, both of them high up there in the triple digits.
Oh my god, great. We got 1.3. They're pretty close. Look at that, a 1.32 versus a 1.28. But as for kills, it seems like Gug is going to be on top with that 151. He's got slightly more, just slightly more. And I also looking at both these players, Gugger, an amazing player, a very humble and adorable guy. FICO, the GOAT over here, he's got a 72% of the cost rating. Gugger pretty close behind with that 66. They're kind of mirrored, except I will take a look at FICO. Look at his entries. Nearly 70% of the time he gets that entry pick. Interesting. I mean, that's probably the furthest statistic from Gugger. Everything else kind of seems decently close to each other, but I'm excited to see what these boys are going to bring to the table tonight. I mean, it's not just these two, though. I will say the roster for ETS and the roster for Waterloo are both amazing and incredible. But tonight, the spotlight is going to be on the GOAT FICO and and our humble King Gugger.
We're going to see what FICO and Gugger, along with their teams, bring to the table. But, I mean, what are they going to bring to the maps, I should say? Where are we going tonight? This is right, Bianca's favorite part. Heading on over, our very first map is going to be Consulate. University of Waterloo ended up picking that one. They will be starting on attack. Following that, we will be heading on over to Border, where ETS picked, and they shall be starting on attack. But one thing I find interesting, Bianca, is the decider over here on Nighthaven. Waterloo picked it up. They're going to be able to have a defensive start on what I believe is a very defensive side of the map.
You're right. You know what? I feel like a lot of teams, what the whole idea is, and I see it pretty. I've seen it recently. Is a lot of teams will go on the offense first to kind of get the mentality is to get the hard part out of the way first, so they can kind of have the advantage if the game goes by OT. Because if the game goes by OT, then if you start on attack first, I believe you will start on defense the first round of OT. So I kind of feel like that is the reason behind a lot of teams deciding that they want to go offensive first on, statistically defensive sided maps. But then you take a look at, Skyscraper, and I don't think anybody would want to attack first on Sky. So guess it just really comes down to the teams. But I do wonder myself why some teams do decide that they want to attack first when defense, I mean, realistically, is kind of the advantage in itself.
Very much could be the aggressive roster, the aggressive plays, and with aggressive plays and aggressive rosters comes aggressive bans. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're ready. I know I'm ready. Bianca, you sound pretty ready yourself. I think it's about time we jump on into our bans, our operator bans, getting on into game number one to see who is going to come out on top and who is going to take that start tonight. Will it be University of Waterloo? Will it be ETS? I'm super excited. We're talking about the aggression. You're talking about, teams who want to start offense first. What are some bans you think we might end up seeing here on Constant, even though, ETS did decide to start defense first? What are some picks you think might be seeing?
I think we might end up seeing. I think for defense, I want to say an Azami, and I want to say a Kaid, but who knows? As for the offense, I think a Monty, and I want to say a Monty and a Blitz. I feel like I'm kind of like I'm kind of feeling double shield bans. So we got the Monty out the way, which is like 95% of the time he ends up getting banned.
We love the
So
Monty
we'll
here.
see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh wait, I think we casted together once where Monty
Yes, we were the whole not banned, not picked, made it all the way through, and we're like, hey, why are we not picking up this character? It is Joe Kebby who gets banned on out of here, though. That does mean that the Blitz, who's another one of my favorite characters, ends up making it on through. I'm excited to see if that plays into either of these team strategies, and obviously Waterloo, who's going to be on first on offense. What are they going to be banning on defense? What do they not want to see, though? It is going to be the Mozzie. I think this is a very interesting one because I do see Consulate as having a lot of choke points for drones, but Mozzie, just being a good roaming operator himself, is able to get a lot of information with those drones and just move around very nicely. So I'm a little bit surprised, but not at the same time. I love information operator bans on this map.
You know what? I won't lie to you. Since that Mozzie buff where he ends up getting the 4 pests, I've seen his pick rate skyrocket. Instead of like he's kind of like a good flex operator, and op that if you don't really have, or you kind of can be flexible with, and you can kind of pick and choose depending on the situation, the player that's playing it. I'm definitely seeing Mozzie getting picked up a lot more now that I believe he did end up getting that extra pest that he's able to use to capture a drone. What I'm surprised is that we're going to see an Azami still on the board. I feel like Azami gets banned almost every single map, and I feel like she's really good for basically just any site at all. I see her basically put into every single strategy on every single, site for every single team. She's an operator that I think is basically good for any situation, and I'm a little bit surprised that she is going to be available. But with that being said, despite being available, she will not be picked this first round out.
Yeah, she's not getting picked or banned. Fenrir, another one who I think is fantastic for information, has a lot of utility in his kit. Also, not getting picked or banned. We do see some interesting operators coming out, but here we go though. Round one finally underway in this semi-final clash between ETS and the University of Waterloo. Both teams, I'm sure, are very eager because take a look at what we're seeing. How ironic. Irony of the aggression on the Amaru. Do it. Right up through the window. Get on in there. Give me my Amaru clip for the day. I want to see it. The Deimos, though, no real surprise to see this one getting played.
I will say Madi is an amazing player. I know we've highlighted Gugger, but I will say if I have to highlight somebody else on the team from Waterloo, which honestly I feel like Madi performs every time I see him perform, he does absolutely amazing. I have to give it to Madi. So I'm glad that he's on the Deimos, an operator that's aggressive, that's able to kind of solo do their own thing and basically just solo push people and kind of get them in sticky situations. But anyways, I digress. Munchies is going to take down the man of the night we were highlighting, Gugger, who's going to beat the fuck. He's already taken down. So the boys on Waterloo are going to be at a one-man disadvantage already. But with this Jamos ping coming out, Madi absolutely looking for his teammates. Get back. They're going to be looking for none other than that Valk. We'll see who is going to get their heads taken off first, or if they're going to be able to walk away unscathed. A near wall bang is going to come out, but it is not going to be successful. But the second time around, it will be Muzzy to take down Munchies. That is the refrag down. A 4v4 back to even playing field.
That's a really good one to take out, but I'm going to be entirely honest. Munchies knocking down Gugger, I think, was really massive. You want the Buck to be playing down in piano to really open up the floor so that you can get inside and get the plant off that you need. Take a look at right now with ETS. I'm sorry, take a look at with Waterloo. They're finding it difficult to really open up an opportunity to get themselves in the window. They are looking for the lineup. They have everybody in place. The Amaru's looking to go and launch herself right on into sight. The problem, though, they don't have that floor open to flush out any defenders. So they're going to have to take this one a little bit slower, utilize a lot more of the Deimos play. Take a look at that. They're throwing fags, expecting people to be playing behind the desk, but nobody's there. How ironic. Does vault on in, is ready. Madi sitting down below. Members are pushing in from the defense. They go and swing, and Forkies does knock down How Ironic. Wizify ends up getting a nice nitro kill. We're under 60 seconds. 3 members of the offense are off the board, and you're really feeling the pain right now of losing that Buck early.
Yeah, that's going to be unfortunate. I will say, having this XQ go down without a Ying, I feel like a Ying is usually an operative they will bring, especially if you're going to be planting in that little corner with the window. But I guess it won't be able to do that now. Flex is going to take down Madi, and it's going to be up to Oogs in a 1v4. But somebody's waiting in the closet. Did he not see him as he was swinging out? I guess not. Wiz to get that final kill on the Warden. And unfortunately, with that, the first round is going to be over. The boys on ETS will win out their first defensive round. And we'll see where they're going to be going this second defense.
Very clean opening round from ETS. I loved everything I see, and you said we're going to see where they're going to be going. Is there really any other place to go other than just head on down to the basement and play Garage? I mean, come on, we'll save the offsites for when we need to go to them. Let's knock out the sites we know we can play. Let's get our at least 2 rounds right out of the gate, and, you know, chill after that. And, you know, if you go 2-1, 2-1, you're still coming out of the first half 4-2. Hopefully that won't be the case, though. We are heading on into round number 2. We will see if that 2 does get secured by ETS. I'm not really seeing anything too wild, I should say, in the picks. You know, I'm seeing some pretty standard stuff for down here, different things than we're seeing in round 1. But, I mean, who's not going to play Mira and Echo down over in Basement Garage? Really great start so far. The setup is going underway. I'm interested to see what exactly Waterloo does to adapt their strategy. ETS starting strong. They're taking the first round of the semifinals matchup. They really set the tone early, and they're showing here that they are ready to challenge the higher-seeded University of Waterloo. With the opening victory, let's see, does ETS's momentum stay? Or is Waterloo going to push forward?
We'll see how it goes. I will say that I like that Mira. I always love to see a little bit of Mira still in the Wazami. And of course, we're going to see Madi back on that Deimos. See if they're going to be able to get more than just one pick like he did last round. A little bit of a top floor roam for a couple of these players. And by a couple, I mean it's going to be none other than, of course, Vigil on the boss. Bocce and Vigil, I swear, it's literally like a virus the way that everybody is using him. But Fico to get the first kill. It's going to be the Ash to get taken down. That is going to be huge, especially if you're trying to get rid of those black mirrors. Unfortunately, he'll be taken down. But with that, Madi to take down Munchie's the second round, and he gets the same kill. Madi, unfortunately, is going to be taken down twice by Mr. Madi. We're back out. Seems like it's kind of a mirror of last round. Madi to equalize out the score, making it a 4v4.
You know, Munchie is getting knocked down by Madi, yes, but this Valkyrie has been a thorn in the side for the opening picks onto Waterloo. I don't think they are really able to find the answer that they're looking for right out of the gate. And this Valkyrie is able to, kind of similar that we were talking about with the Mozzie ban. Lots of information. You got a Nitro, a lot of potential here with that pick. And so far, it's putting on a great showing right out of the gate. It does seem, though, that Waterloo is pushing on in. And now, a little bit steady. We're halfway through the round, though, and a good closing on the site. Still 4 members remaining, though, from each team.
Well, it got about a minute 15 remaining on the round. Somebody's gonna have to start making some moves. And as I said, though, Waterloo is kind of already taking a bit of space on that bottom floor. It seems like a lot of ETS is just gonna hold down the site as best as they possibly can. Nobody's really gonna be roaming around, but the first kill is gonna come out onto Madi. It's gonna be Otter to take him down. A 4v3 in the favor of the boys on ETS. Seems they're gonna be able to win out the second round of their defense. Still tucked away, hiding, but it will be Ooks to equalize out the score. We'll see if they can make it uneven, and hopefully the boys on Waterloo will be able to get their man advantage. As to right now, 35 seconds on the clock, and an execute needs to start happening now.
Very difficult one to push on in, especially looking at the HP bars of the University of Waterloo. They are going to go for the push in. 25 seconds left on the clock. 1-2 down for 4 keys as he knocks down Oogs, and how ironic. Guggerton does find 2 himself, but Faiko finishes out the round, knocks down Gugger, and ETS are going to go up 2-0 out of the start.
Oh my gosh, that is unfortunate, but late executes. It comes down just to the wire, and then you got to win out that one. Unfortunately, the boys on Waterloo will not be able to win out that one, and so the boys on ETS are going to have their secure their second defensive win. Of course, going that tertiary site now where the piano is. We'll see how well they will be able to defend this out. They've been doing decently well in these defensive rounds. I mean, last round came down to the wire, but the first one was great. Hopefully Waterloo can be able to at least win this one out, so it won't be a full sweep on this little quarterly swap. Well, it won't swap, but the little quarter before sites reset.
ETS is continuing their strong start, locking down the basement in round 2 after securing that second floor win in round 1. But we kind of did talking about that. This is very much now you are on the offsite. Is this going to be a 2-1-2-1 style first half for ETS? Are they going to be able to hold out this offsite? I want to say, that first round defense upstairs, it was very clean. Getting a little bit closer for Waterloo, though, in that second round. They started to close in. They started to knock down the members of ETS, and it really came into that last man-on-man challenge. And, ETS just kind of came out a little bit better right there at the end. And I think Waterloo is starting to pull it together, slowly, surely, little by little.
Hopefully this round they'll be able to pull it out and grab themselves a win. On 0-3, I mean, of course, you're able to, come back from that. There's still another 3 rounds, but wouldn't it be wise to be down 0-3? And not only that, but there is a pulse on the side. Not only a pulse, but also a soulless. Maybe there's, they're kind of expecting maybe a little bit of a late land or something along the lines of that. A near wall bang, but unfortunately it will not work out. Wiz just about misses his shots. As for Madi, still on the Deimos, looking to capture somebody from above, which it seems like there's only going to be one person. It's going to be none other than Mr. Faiko. Oh no, is also going to be with him. So at least if something does happen, there can be a little bit of room for a refrag. But other than that, we'll have to see how well the boys on Waterloo are going to be able to sift out and clear these roamers.
So far, it's been really, I want to say a little bit back and forth. I want to say, like I mentioned, Waterloo's been pulling it back little by little. And I was about to ask you what adjustments we need to see from Waterloo, and I don't think a nade kill under Brava is one of them. Oh. Really unlucky, because now Madi goes down from a Nitro, 2 explosion kills, and Honor knocks down How Ironic, Munchies knocks down Gugger, and Faiko just finishes off Dark. What happened there? I want to say that was a flawless round for ETS, but that was just a swift 5-0 right there. Well, 4-0 plus 1 from the other side.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see, especially around last round was pretty close. This one was the absolute opposite, which a tertiary site, I feel like you don't typically see a tertiary site that just gets absolutely blown out like that. But it did, which is interesting. I don't even think that the players on Waterloo ended up being able to make it near the site at all. Everybody basically got killed off of the roam, which is Not something you want to see. I mean, I'm glad, however, that Waterloo are going to be taking this time to take a timeout. I feel like a lot of teams kind of overlook this and don't really use their timeouts to the best of their advantage. So I'm glad they are using this. And hopefully, if you know about this statistic, I will tell you about it. But I was told once, one of my first ever casts on PC, I was told that usually, typically, 70% of the time, the team that ends up taking the timeout, they end up winning the round right after. So hopefully Waterloo are going to be able to bring that 70% and clean out this round, because being down 0-3 isn't impossible to come back from, but it's definitely not what you want to put out, especially when you're in a semifinal game.
No, exactly. It's really just kind of all in right now. The teams are doing their best to put their best foot forward. It's just, I think ETS is just getting the better of Waterloo. I feel like, yes, there have been some mistakes. You know, a nade going the wrong direction, bouncing the wrong way, ends up getting a team kill. It happens. How you recover is going to be the answer. And I think taking that timeout right there is going to be very important for Waterloo. So what are some of the things right now that are standing out to you, Bianca, though, about ETS's performance?
ETS has been doing great. I mean, I don't have anything really to criticize at all. I feel like they know when to get aggro. I mean, I will say Waterloo, especially the first two rounds, Madi, he was great at getting those refrags. I think that ETS though, they know when to get. Oh my God, that would have been crazy. Imagine. Ooh, that would have been really close. But anyways, ETS, I think they're great at being able to, get aggro when they need to be and also play defensive when they need to be. Last round, a lot of them just ended up getting killed off of Rome. Not only that, but the second round when they're defending the basement, nobody was really, getting overzealous or getting a little bit overconfident. Everybody knew that they had a role to play, and that was to, basically defend that basement. Nobody was doing, anything extra. They basically just did their role, and despite it kind of being boring sometimes, you gotta wait in sight. That's what makes a good player from a great player, is being able to know when you got to get aggro and when you have to play passive, which I think is what ETS is really good at, being able to balance both out.
Really good vertical angles getting held right now by ETS, looking to knock down the members of University of Waterloo, chilling down below on that first floor. We're seeing a very similar approach to what we did in round number one. Take a look at this. The Maru pushes on in. They do have the buck alive this time. Look at that. How ironic. Finds two into Otter and Wizify. Forkies gets the Thorn kill, though, onto How Ironic. The 1-2 trade goes in favor of Waterloo. They did not jump in with the diffuser this time. It is on the Grim Oogs, so they're going to take this one a little bit slower, but still a very swift approach, though. We see the Buck, we see the Deimos, we see the Amaru, and, we don't see the Buck and or the Nomad now anymore, as Munchies and Forkies make sure to knock down some of those University of Waterloo members. Another one off the board as FICO finds Mod D. Oogs finishes off Munchies. It all comes down to the Grim, though, in this 1v2 scenario with 65 seconds to go.
Damn, and Waterloo were looking absolutely great. I'm not really sure how they let it slip out of their hands, but this is still winnable. A decent amount of time for Oogs to get in there. He also does happen to be the one with the diffuser, so this is a great situation to be in with 50 seconds. He's going to have to find not only the Legion, but the Thorn as well, and be careful for not just those Legion traps we just saw, but a Thorn trap as well. A lot of trap ops coming in on the side of ETS. We'll see who is going to win out this round. I would hope that it would be Oogs, but only time will tell as the clock runs lower and lower.
They can see the bullet trail. Surely both members sitting on site, taking this one nice and slow. They know that he has to come to them. Ends up throwing out the bees. Not the bees! Nicolas Cage is shouting with 15 seconds left to go. Swing in from Oogs. Does see one. Finds it! On the Forkies. Goes down for the plant. Doesn't know the other member's sitting in the room right next to him. FICO swings around. He's waiting for the time. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. Holds the diffuser.
No
FICO knocks him on down. Quick little headshot. Says, let me get the extra points for this one. Diffuser gone. Round 4 gone. ETS is 4-0, Bianca.
Yeah, this is a very, very, very disappointing. I'm a little bit sad. They were looking really great and really strong at the beginning of the round, and then a couple picks were coming out that we didn't get to see in favor of ETS, and then that shield pick onto Mod D, I believe, basically just put them at that disadvantage, and that's That was basically the death of him. Unfortunately, Oogs, who came extremely close to clutching up that 1v3, won't be able to, and that's just that. It seems like Waterloo are always a step behind, and it always seems like ETS are always a step ahead. They always, like I said, they know when to play passive. They know when to play aggressive. I think they do it perfectly. Even somebody on that person on the shield played that absolutely amazing. They were still calm. The Deimos was there, of course, they're able to spot out the Deimos, but getting that little pick, it's not like they ended up, get a little bit crazy, trying to swing out, trying to find another. Not only that, but the Thorn and the Legion holding their positions. Time runs out, and as a defender, as the time gets lower and lower, it's in your advantage even more and more to just sit and relax, let time do its thing. And so, unfortunately, Waterloo are going to be down 0-4. It is still possible to leave split at 4-2, but with the snowball effect and the momentum that the boys on ETS have, I feel like it's definitely going to be a hard kind of challenge for the boys on Waterloo to bring this back, or at least win these last 2 rounds of their offense.
Waterloo's really gonna need to pull out something special to get on the board, and I was looking forward to a little bit of something that we saw over there in the operator selection. I'm gonna say Guggerton did knock down Otter, and one of the things I was gonna mention was Gugger sitting there hovering the blitz. I was looking at this, I was like, okay, this could be the switch up I'm looking for from Waterloo, because I'll be entirely honest, I'm not seeing too much shakeup in the operator lineup approach. We're seeing the Ash, the Deimos. Deimos has been coming in almost every single time for Waterloo right now, for good reason though. I do think the operator is phenomenal and applies a lot of pressure onto any roamers, but the Ash has come in on the basement, the Amarus and Grim have come in when they're pushing the second floor, so you come in with these plans and stuff like that. I need some adaptability. There we go. I'm curious, like, what kind of change up do we need? And one of the things you mentioned is, the time is really playing the factor. Does Waterloo just go in and try to push in nice and swiftly? I don't know, with maybe something like a blitz, but that's just an example. What we saw right there at the start of this round, Gugger just ran in, they opened up this door, and he found an opening pick within seconds of the round starting. I think that's the kind of aggression that I'm thinking in my head that I'm looking for. I want to see that kind of push in from Waterloo, except do it as a team, get on in there, and really just shake things up. Dark does knock down Wizify, though, so that is another member of the defense off the board, but Forky's with the Nitro, and Munchies with a Dark Twin. Oh man, 2 for 2 now here with 1:15 left to go.
There we go. Waterloo, get the advantage, and it slips right through their fingers. Now it's going to be an even playing field. ETS were able to equalize out the score, getting those 2 picks, and still Munchies on this boss G. He knows somebody is out there. He's going to get a little bit cheeky. Will unfortunately be punished for trying to swing out Mr. Oogs, who was the man to try and clutch up the last round. A 2v3, the boys on Waterloo will finally have their man advantage, but for how long, only time will tell. FICO looking to get a little bit lucky, and will as he takes down Ironic, but Maji for the refrag. Now it's going to be Mr. Forky's left in a 1v2. Deimos, however, Mr. Maji is extremely low, and a flick nearly comes out, but it will not work. Oops, finding that final kill, and finally, the boys on Waterloo will find their first win in 5 rounds.
Scream it to the sky, Bianca. Waterloo win. They're on the board. This is exciting stuff right now for Waterloo, because this is a momentum killer, and B, this shows that there is life in this roster. They're willing to keep on pushing out for it. Guys in chat, everyone out there, let us know right now. Waterloo, ETS, who do you have? I'm not counting anyone out yet. I was here on Monday. I saw the 5-1 half, and I saw what happened. I am ready for similar to happen again today for Waterloo. They can turn this one around. Defense is going to be a big game changer. This is their map selection. Keep that in mind. What is their game plan? We're ticking down here in prep phase, and we're finally seeing the Fenrir come on out here.
I was just going to mention this. I see the Fenrir. Not only that, though, we see a Maestro. I feel like almost never do I get to see this operator being played, so it's interesting to see him come about. I would love to see how Wizify, or just in the team in general for ETS, is going to be able to utilize him, considering that this could quite possibly be their last time ever bringing him out. As for ETS as well, FICO being very, very cheeky by Visa, but actually is going to spin all the way around. He's definitely going to be roaming about And not only that, but you mentioned this last round, we saw that Gugs was kind of, you know, hovering over that blitz, seeing what he, you know, kind of formulating. Maybe he should, maybe he shouldn't. He didn't last round, but this round he most definitely will. Not only that, but what I like to see is a little bit of change coming in from the boys on Waterloo. Look, I believe this is basically in a completely different roster minus the Ash. We have a Blitz, we have a Ying, we have a Thermite, and we have a Cali, which are all new operators we haven't seen once. So if this is the last round of attack, well, it looks like it's go big or go home.
I love every bit of this right now. Look at them pushing on in, going down for the plant. He ended up backing off of it. Wizify did knock down Guggerton. That is going to be an unfortunate thorn in the side. Gone. How ironic does rush in there. That is diffuser dropped inside right now. Fico ends up finishing off How Ironic with the Nitro. Take a look at that diffuser. It did get called out, I'm almost certain, by ETS. Oogs, though, with the Kali chilling on back. That is not an angle you can peek, ETS. Keep holding that angle. See if you can find another one. We are 3 to 4 members right now. Waterloo still at the man deficit, but a lot of potential right here. They're pushing in nice and easy. I love the change up. I think it was a nice, refreshing thing for Waterloo to do. Now it comes out to closing it out. How are you going to get in here, re-secure the diffuser? Your Kali's at 4 HP. I shouldn't be able to count your HP numbers on one hand.
Yeah, that is a little bit frightening. And like you said, they also do not have a hold of the diffuser. So either way, somebody's going to have to walk their big booty in. And they're going to have to start making a play. Unfortunately, it's going to be Modzy to try and take the first initiative to get in there, and will be punished for it greatly. Not only that, but Cali being down, it's left up to none other than Dark and a 1v4 situation. A minute remaining, and it's not looking too good. Seems like every single angle of his is going to be cut off. It's going to be very hard for him to make his way in through sight, and here it is again, ETS knowing when to just sit down and when to play aggro. Nobody is going to be over swinging or, you know, trying to get in Dark's face. Everybody's just going to be holding their angles and doing what they got to do, because as a defender, I mean, look, the attackers, they don't have their diffuser at all. They physically have to come in and they have to kill you, or they got to grab that diffuser. They got to come into no man's land, grab that diffuser, and try and plan. Unfortunately, Forky's is going to be waiting at the bottom of the stairs along with Fico just at the bottom of Spiral. And it seems like we might just get a little bit of a flank as well. With only 15 seconds remaining, they want this round to end out as fast as possible. And ETS holding down the fort will be swung out. That was the flank from the Fenrir, aka Munchies, to close out halftime at a 5-1.
5-1 at half. I am very positive ETS is feeling really good about that one, and to close it out in a very decisive manner. 4 members still on the board and very healthy, might I say, okay? ETS ends the first half on quite a high note. They take round 6 on the basement site after they just kind of came up a little bit short in the previous round, but they solidified their lead here in the first half. A commanding performance so far, and I don't feel like there's any one player who's really just rocking it. I feel like Fico's doing phenomenal. I'm gonna put that out there. I mean, the guy's 9-1 right now. Really great, okay? I do believe he's doing a great job, but it doesn't feel like it's, oh my god, Fico, oh, Fico this. No, it really feels like ETS as a whole is rising to the occasion and putting their best foot forward here today.
Absolutely. I mean, being 5-1 on split is absolutely amazing. And like you said, I think that it's a whole effort from ETS to be able to bring this type of passion and have it basically be a near sweep, a 6-0 sweep on that halftime. Hopefully we will see Waterloo's true potential coming out on this defensive side now that, you know, they will be on the defense. And looking at this, I mean, seems like they're prepared for, you know, that typical window push in. However, the boys in ETS will not have that Amaru. They have that typical bug. They are going to have that Grim. The IQ is great as well, but we'll see how they decide to execute this push, because seeing this ace kind of makes me think maybe they're going to be going in through that single wall, which there we go. That's exactly where it's going to be going in. I believe, what is this room called? It's not called Coffin, right?
Step in there for us, Guggerton. Oh, no, okay. Well, you know, we kind of hoped that he... Okay, no. He's thinking about it. He's wanting to head on in there to give us the name of that one. I gotta say, though, Bianca, you know, do you think Waterloo, now that they're on defense, this being their map choice, do you think their defensive play can help them just chip away more at ETS's lead? Or is ETS really poised to maintain their momentum that they've had so far in the first half?
Honestly, I think that, I mean, considering that a minute has been wasted right now and not much space has really been taken by ETS, I think that Waterloo are in a decently good position to be able to win up this round. And there we go. As I say that, Otter's going to get taken down by none other than Mr. Mod D. I think the defense also kind of swaps and will kind of slow down a bit of momentum for a team that was winning on their defense. Because, like I said, I feel like being on the defense is already a little bit of an automatic advantage in its own way. And obviously, like I said, it seems like Waterloo are able to burn a lot of time, or ETS are just really slow on the uptake and making their way through. We'll see when the next pick is going to come out. But until then, it's just about to be a minute remaining. And the only person to be taking damage is going to be Otter, who's dead.
Man, another one bites the dust. Take a look at that as Mod finds FICO. There's the kill leader for ETS off the board. 60 seconds still to go. And take a look at this right now. ETS has to push into, oh yeah, a Goyo, a Mira, a Mute. Shall I keep going? And a Zombie, an Echo. This is a turtle team comp right now that Waterloo's pulled out on defense. There's two members still sitting on the roof. ETS is really playing this nice and slow, but I don't think they have that luxury with two members off the board, only one member inside, two chilling up. You're against 5 members of Waterloo, very healthy, very set up, and very much raring to go. Go ahead, throw out another keep a barrier, why don't ya? 30, 25, why not, I should say, seconds remaining on the clock. Time is ticking, ETS. Can they push on in? Guggerton says no they can't. Dark says no they can't. Who's next? Are we getting the clean sweep? Do we get the perfect round? Yes, we do. Flawless round for Waterloo. 5-2 now. They are bringing it back. Head on over to the broom closet and let's get this sweep going.
Oh my gosh, perfectly done. And there we go. Like you said, you think Waterloo are going to be able to win this round out considering ETS has some great momentum? Yes. Yes, they can, and yes, they will. I think that one thing that ETS is not really good at least on the attack, is time management. I mean, they got to be really good at it on defense. They won it out very beautifully. So they're great at just holding it down, holding down that fort, holding this down. But when you're on the attack, you don't have the luxury of being able to sit and wait for, the attackers to come to you. You got to make the effort to get in there. Or not the attackers come to you, the defenders. You don't have the luxury of having the defenders come to you. Now you got to make your way in through. And unfortunately, ETS have no clue how to do that at all. So hopefully this round will be able to adapt to that and kind of figure out, guys, we are pushing way too slow. I feel like a big part of that, too, was losing the ace first. I don't even believe that they ended up getting that catering wall opened up before that ace died. So it's going to be unfortunate. It's going to obviously limit where you can push from. So hopefully at least this round out, their thermite won't die early on and they can win out the round. Unless you're a fan of Waterloo, then you, of course, want them to lose out this round.
Exactly. I mean, pull it together. I think University of Waterloo, they're starting off this second half right. I don't want to say it's strong. I do want to say it's strong. That was a 5-0 flawless victory. But I think they're starting it off correctly. We're going to see how this one goes. If we get 2 in a row, I'm going to give it that. Yes, they're starting off this half very strong. They need this defensive win. They need a defensive sweep right now. But that opening defensive round victory was very great. Guggerton does find Wisdify. Opening pick for Waterloo. Man advantage for the defense. And look at how healthy they all are. That was a perfect 100-0 trade. I think Waterloo's feeling pretty good about their defense right now. There was a reason they wanted to go to this map. Yeah, the offense happened. Yeah, it wasn't the best case scenario for them. But I think in their heads, it's also not the worst case scenario.
No, absolutely not. They've been doing great on the defense. I mean, if they do end up winning this out, they'll just need another 2 rounds, which would be great. However, I will say, I feel like it's a little bit... It's definitely got some nerve to be able to pick Consulate and then end up going down, 1-5 on your offense. I feel like at least a 2-4 would be, would kind of be what you would hope for. But anyways, that's all in the past. They're on the defense now, and they are looking healthier than ever. We'll see how the round plays out as a minute and a half begins.
Minute and a half left on the clock, and time is slowly making its way right back on down. And last time we saw this was a little bit worrisome, though, for ETS. The longer they take this, the better it's going to be for Waterloo. I mean, we saw this happen already. So what is going to come out as we get down to the 60-second mark? Well, we're going to see Dark knock down Munchies, so that's another plus. And another one down as Mod knocks off Forkies. It's a 5v2 scenario. This is just looking right now like Waterloo planned this all along. Go ahead and take the offensive round. So we'll take the offensive loss, I should say. Dark finally off the board. It won't be a perfect sweep this time around as Otter finds one, finds two, as Ironic goes down as well. Guggerton does finish off FICO though, and it all comes down to Otter in the 1v3. You got a Mira, a Goyo, and a Kaid chilling on site, waiting for you. This is not going to be pretty. 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, it looks like a little 1v1 situation by this little piano room. Unfortunately, Gug is going to get taken down, and with just about 15 seconds, Otter's looking for the ace if he wants to win out this round, which, I mean, considering it's a Goyo that, you know, might be blocking these doors, which exactly is what's going to happen. He's going to have to not only make his way under that Kiba barricade, but also through that very hot fire. Unfortunately, it will take him out. Actually, it will be the players on Waterloo to do it for them, and their defense is looking absolutely amazing. I would argue that their defense is looking stronger than ETS's defense, but we'll see.
I think we're starting to head in that direction, you know. I think we're starting to get there where we can start to say that this University of Waterloo team was planning for defense. We're going to find out, though. It's going to come down to this round right now, the offsite. How will they hold it? We do need to remember, if they can hold out this one and things look good for them, ETS ended up losing on one of the, I want to say major sites, but more common sites. That downstairs basement, that was their round loss, not the offsite. They were able to hold out through that offsite. If they hold this one, Bianca, I might be on board with you about saying that their defense is looking more solid than ETS's. I like this bunker down strat that they have, and I think it's working for them. You know, we're seeing again the Goyo, the Mira coming on out here. This time they're swapping up with a few more trap operators. I mean, we saw the mute earlier on, but this time we have Legion, and this time we have Malusi. So let's slow them in the fire while we poison them and shoot at their feet. Very interesting setup from Waterloo, and I'm really liking every bit of it.
What I will say is I believe that seeing that Waterloo hadn't brought a Warden, I think that ETS kind of swapped the operators that they're going to bring, and they decided to swap on and bring themselves a Ying to help them out, and I think this is a direct, you know, operator pick based on the fact that Waterloo hadn't brought in a Warden. I mean, I feel like a Ying is so great even if there is a Warden, because if that Warden does get taken out, you know, let's just say early on, unfortunately, then, you know, the Ying is basically great in every single situation, but having that swap is going to be interesting. I do like to see the Ying, and of course, the last two rounds, the boys on Waterloo able to get them opening picks. It will be Wizify, though, with 1 HP and a Dream to take down Oogs, the Malusi. However, it's not an operator that would be that horrible to lose. Malusi is somebody that you can put down all of her Banshees, use all of her utility, her rotates, or her impacts, I should say, and, you know, her job is basically done. It's just her MP5 and herself. Ying looking like she might make her way through. Will be Forkies, but only time will tell. I need to see what Wiz is going to do being this low.
Nitro ripped and thrown, but Dark is gonna finish off Wizify. I think that's what Wiz is going to do. Take a look, Otter on the ground as well. Your Thermite's out of the picture, but so is how Ironic as Faco knocks him down to the dirt. Mod finishes off Faco. Great refrag right there. Otter still lurking around, but it is a 3v2 scenario in the long run until they can get, if they can get Otter back up. We're halfway through round number 9. Hold on to yourself. Hold the bleeding. Stop it. Survive as long as you can. Don't let the defense know. And I think they found out. I think they found out Otter was low. Otter was knocked off the board. Gugger was able to get the finish. 2 members remaining for the offense. 3 for the defense. 60 seconds to go. Is it gonna be 1? Look at the damage coming on out. Munches gets finished off by Mod. Gugger finishes the last. And Waterloo has done it on the offsite. It is now 5-4.
5-4, 5-3. Are you serious? 5-4 already. They've nearly caught up Waterloo. What crack are they snorting? Doing great. The offense was a little bit shambolic, to say the least, but their defense is stronger than ever. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I want to see more of it because I won't lie. I have a little bit of a bias for Waterloo because, like I said, I love Gugger, but I also love. No, no, I will tell you, I love
Oh, okay, okay,
Monty.
yeah, yeah.
I actually
No, don't
love
cast your bias,
Monty.
everyone.
Well, hey, look, if I gotta say a team that I would like to see win, I gotta say I would love it to be Waterloo because apart from Gugger is a great player. I am so weirdly not infatuated, but I definitely love watching. No, I really do love watching Mod D play, and I'm glad that they're able to bring this back. That's no diss though to ETS. ETS, an amazing team. FICO is great, and even I've casted Forkies before. He was amazing as well. These players are great, and they always bring a lot of potential and a lot of excitement to these games. And this is the excitement that I'm talking about. Being down 5-1, winning 3 straight rounds, you think that ETS might want to call a timeout, which I won't lie to you. If Waterloo does end up winning this round, it goes 5-5, I would absolutely hope, I would nothing short of expect ETS to call a timeout and figure out what they are doing and what they need to do to win out their offense, because right now, they're 0 for 3.
You know, if Waterloo does end up taking this one as well and make this a 5-5, I need ETS to take a timeout, not for themselves, but for me, because I will be running over to my supply closet. I will be grabbing the broom because I will be getting it out because this is a reverse sweep, okay? Mod D just knocked down Munchie's opening pick again for Waterloo, and so far, I can't even say so far when they get opening pick, they've won their defensive round. They've just won their defensive rounds, okay? The opening pick just makes it that much more sweeter and gets them that much more closer to a flawless round, as we've seen them already do, okay? So, tell me right now, Waterloo, am I going to get the broom after this round? Or ETS, can you stop the Waterloo momentum, the Waterloo flood that is ripping right on through you, halfway through, and everyone from Waterloo so very healthy, so bunkered down?
I think, like you said, I think the bunker down play is what works for Waterloo, and it's absolutely great. We're seeing that Mira come in every round. We're seeing that Goyo come in every single round. I like the Azami being used. I noticed that ETS, I don't believe, brought her once, which is, kind of insane. She's such a great operator, especially for kind of, stopping operators or stopping attackers from making their way through places, or at least, being comfortable making their way through doors, being able to kind of give yourself an extra bit of room to kind of peek a tad bit. But anyways, I digress. Moving forward, we have just about a minute again in the round, and ETS has really yet to make a dent in much. It seems like they've kind of made their way in through that office area, but other than that, it doesn't seem like much has gone on. There are still people that are on the roof, and guys, I'm not sure why we're still on the roof, why we're still outside of the building with 45 seconds. I mean, you got to start making your way in. You got to start making your way in through now. It seems like it will be Otter and Wizify to be the first ones to try and make their mark.
I like that you say, we got 2 people on the roof, we gotta make our way inside, and we pan over to FICO, who just runs right out the front door, okay? We got 30 seconds left, and this is such a util-heavy comp right now from Waterloo. They're playing this right. The Nitro rips on over, but FICO finds 2. Gets immediately, 4 keys ends up going down to Gugger, who finds 2 himself. 2 for 2, 15 seconds. Go time. Now or never, ETS. Otter knocks down, how ironic. And Dark Twins finishes off either. FICO gets Gugger. 1v1 with 5 seconds. They gotta go for the kill. Who's got it? FICO has it. FICO knocks down Dark. And that will put ETS at match point. There is the momentum stopper that ETS needed.
Oh my god, we were literally just dissing FICO, talking about what are you doing walking out the front door. But I actually cannot believe that he just got a 4-piece like that. Guys, what are we doing on Waterloo? I can't believe that he just single-handedly secured match point for him and his team. I guess this really truly is why we put a FICO on that pedestal, why we said earlier that FICO is the GOAT. An amazing play from him to shut down the momentum that Waterloo had. And I gotta say, it's disappointing. I will not lie to you. I feel like ETS one thing that I have to critique about them on their offense is that their time management skills are horrible. And I feel like that round is as much as a great player Fico is an amazing play. I feel like it was almost a near fluke that they ended up winning that because, I mean, the time on the board, are you serious? There's almost nothing left, and even then they still win it out, so congratulations to them. But I definitely think that time management when they're on offense is it's lacking a bit.
Okay, so by the sounds of it, I think we're kind of leaning into the same thing. ETS, though, did halt Waterloo's momentum building machine that they were turning into. I think that was a very critical win on round 10. I like the change up we're seeing right here. We were talking about how we needed them to get aggressive. Take a look at this. We got Ash, Blitz, and Buck. We're just running and gunning, getting on in there. And we're staying on the second floor for this round 11, where ETS just regained some crucial momentum. This could be a very pivotal moment for both teams. ETS looking to secure the lead, and ETS looking to secure the lead in the set, I should say, on Waterloo's map, and Waterloo aiming to recover in a very tight situation and finish out and try to just tie things on up again. Bianca, after that last round, do you think ETS is going to double down on their success here, or do you think Waterloo can adapt and bounce back on this repeat site?
I think that Waterloo will be able to win this out. I mean, like I said, last round was basically just a fluke. Not really a fluke, but it was close. It came down to the wire to the point where anybody could have won out that round. And I think Waterloo can still win this out. There we go. The shotgun to take down Wiz. That is going to be the blitz gone. But with that, we are going to have two players on Waterloo getting taken down. Not only is it going to be Ironic who ended up killing that blitz, but it will also be a big contributor to the boys on Waterloo, Mod D, with that Munchie also taken down. They're back to a 3v3, but don't count them out just yet. A 2v2 now as shots are firing from both sides. Waterloo are going to have to hold this down for another minute 30 if they want to see this game through.
I am absolutely tense right now with how this game is going. It is a trade for trade, pick for pick, back to back. They're just running at each other right now. 2 versus 2 remaining. HP bars not the greatest on both sides outside of 4 keys. Chilling on this floor as we still have plenty of time left in this round. We're not getting down to the wire like we were. Look how close those two are right next to each other. They're literally on the opposite side of the wall as one another over here, and they don't even know about it. This is coming, pushing. 60 seconds to go. They're moving on into sight. Do they know that Dark is chilling, just waiting inside? Oogs does have the cross angle. Shots get fired. Otter's down. This all comes down to Forky now. He's got to come in for the finish up because Dark just throws out the nade. There it is. Waterloo did it. They brought it back in round number 11. Brought it one step closer to getting us to overtime. But oh my God, it's still match point.
There we go. I knew it. I'm telling you, that last round the boys in ETS won was a little bit too close for comfort. Waterloo nearly winning that out. And so they're also going to have to win out this round if they want to see it through to OT. As for ETS, they have the luxury of losing out this round and still having the potential to win this map still. But as for Waterloo, they got to win out this round, no mistakes, to bring themselves over to OT, because that's the only way that they're going to be able to give themselves another opportunity to win out map 1.
University of Waterloo striking back in round 11, reclaiming control on the second floor site and keeping this match razor close. And I mean razor close. They've shown incredible resilience, refusing to let ETS Esports pull away after such a very honestly dominating start in their first half. Next, though, we're heading on down to the basement site for round number 12, a round that could determine whether we see overtime or a decisive finish. How do we see this crucial basement round playing out? And I'm going to be entirely honest, we started down here in basement. This was the first round that Waterloo defended.
Yes, and I'm not gonna lie, Waterloo did absolutely incredible. I remember I believe it was a 3v1 that it ended up being, and it wasn't really close at all. So if Waterloo can continue to bring this momentum and continue the pattern that they had previously, they should be able to win out this round, which I would hope so. They bring in the exact same operators, I believe, as well. Nothing changing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so that's exactly the mentality that we have. We'll see the boys in ETS. They're going to be able to basically find what they couldn't do the first time around and win out basement and secure themselves the first map win.
Well, so far, a nice steady push, very slow. Take it nice and easy. ETS a little bit worried, being that this could be the deciding round to put away number one, head on over to your map choice, or take us on into overtime, giving Waterloo another shot, another stab where things might not look too favorable for ETS, be it that may. A minute and a half off the clock, just about, and so far, nobody really hurt at all, except for FICO over there on the Ash. He's taking, 8 points of damage? A little bit of one bullet, maybe?
Well, with that, it seems like ETS are starting to make their way through, starting to take some space over by the basement in that server. That server-ish kind of area. They better be careful, though. Doesn't seem like many people are actually going to be roaming at all. It's literally just Glug. Everybody else is basically just on this bottom floor, holding down site as best as they possibly can. The first one to be taken out is going to be none other than Mod D, as he gets taken down to Munchies. And as for Gug, I want to see where Gug is going to come in from. I'm curious to know if he's going to try and hit a flank of Dreams or if it's all going to be in vain. He's just going to make his way back to site and help out his team. It seems like he is going to be on the hunt, but will not be finding anybody anytime soon. Just under a minute remaining in the round, and we're still at a 5v4.
We're seeing a couple different operators come into play right now for ETS in this last round. I'm namely looking at like the OSA and Twitch right now, and Wizify and Munchies. This is very interesting, and I think they bring in a helping hand into using the Twitch to go and knock out the crazy amount of utility that Waterloo's been putting into their defense, and you're going to use Wizify on this OSA to help push you up a lot quicker, because like we said, it's taking them quite a while to close the gap and get on into sight. Kill after kill, some trades going on as Dark finishes off Munchies, gets immediately refragged by FICO, who finds how ironic, and 4keys ends up going down to Guggerton. It's a 2v1 scenario. Is this going to do it? Is this going to put it away? They're hunting down the last defender. They know exactly where Gugger is. They have the diffuser. Gugger drops, finds Wiz, but FICO finishes it off. ETS win map number one.
No way. Gug literally had my mouth, I don't think, was closed for the last 20 seconds of that round. I was literally sat with just my mouth opened up. I was like, oh my god, what is going on? An almost hero play coming in from Gugger, unfortunately, will not be enough to close out map one. Instead, ETS is going to be the one to take home that victory royale, but in a BO3, that's all right with me. At the very least, well, actually, at the very most, we will have two maps, because if you are a fan of Waterloo, then you want this to go two maps. If you're a fan of ETS, then, well, at the very least, we're only going to be here for one more map, but that would be kind of sad. I would like to see this go the full three ways, because what is better than a barn burner?
We're talking about this and whether we'll go 2 maps, 3 maps. Of course, I'd love to see all 3, and I don't think it's that much of a stretch. I'm going to be honest. The next map we are going to be heading to is Border, and Waterloo's going to be starting on defense on Border. Another one who I see as a very defensive side of map. I do see consoles kind of going a little bit either way. You could have good defensive plays, you could have good offensive plays. It does lean a little bit more on the defensive side. But Border, I feel like, has some really strong defensive play. I'm interested to see what Waterloo is going to pull out. But I'm going to be honest, that's going to have to be in a couple minutes. ETS Esports close out the first map with a victory in round number 12 on the basement site. They withstand that pressure from University of Waterloo, secure a hard-fought win to take the lead in this best-of-3 semi-final matchup. ETS showed a lot of composure to pull on through in a very tight match. Can they keep that momentum going? We are going to go to a quick intermission before we come on back for map number 2, Border, here at the Canadian Collegiate League. Oh,
Waffle.
keep going.
Somebody say waffles. Let me tell you something about waffles. You know what I like more than a waffle? French toast. Tell me right now, Zach, which one are you taking? A waffle, a pancake, or French toast?
I've been blindsided. I wasn't ready for this one. I gotta say, probably a good French toast. You get a nice piece of French toast.
Oh my god, same.
You get
No,
a nice
I
piece of
literally
French toast,
love
but it
French
really,
toast more than anything. I love French toast so much, and it's absolutely incredible. You know what? What did you end up going to the Montreal Major?
I did not, but I can't deny I might be making a trip sometime soon. Who knows? We might
It
we
would
might
be
see in
great.
some Zach
You know
Vexum. We might
what?
be getting some French toast together.
Honestly, I can make you French toast. I actually make
I
bomb
can make
French
you.
toast. No,
I
let
am
me
gonna
tell
hold you
you.
to this.
Let me tell you, I'm literally the goat of like breakfast food. I'm being so serious. I can't cook dinner type foods. I can't cook meat. I can cook pasta, maybe a pizza, but that's literally about it. I can't cook no meat, no vegetables, or nothing like that. But when it comes to breakfast food, like bagels, eggs, a French toast, pancakes, waffles, brother, put me in the kitchen and I'm cooking it up. I'm cooking it up like it's the walk. I am so good at breakfast food. So you want some good French toast? You come to me. N- Now we're going to be coming over to the instant replays. Oh, that's really close. What are we looking at? Are we looking at the scoreboard right now? This looks more like a replay of ETS EsporTS. There we go.
Just some of the replays we've had throughout the set. Very great action throughout the entirety, and honestly, I don't even know where to start. The absurd pressure that ETS put throughout the first half. I mean, come on. FICO just comes in and gets kill after kill, ends up finishing the first half 9-1. Like, you can't tell me that's not impressive. Like, 17 kills, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, to close out at the end.
Well, I mean, I'm not even too sure myself. I was honestly kind of only paying attention to what was happening with the Waterloo roster to see who was top fragging there. But FICO, don't forget about his electric round that he ended up clutching up. I believe it was with Ash getting that 4-piece to basically bring them to match point. An absolute machine for the team of ETS, which honestly, if he had lost that, I feel like this game could have gone either way. And even then, this game basically went either way. But I will say FICO being the big thorn in the side of the boys on Waterloo definitely stopped them from, at least going OT, because I feel like this definitely could have gone OT had FICO lost that. But regardless, an amazing plays from both teams coming out with some great clutches. But I mean, like I said, we do have to give it to FICO. I think he might just be the man of the match for this map one.
Really just came out being absolutely aggressive. Take a look at this. Wiz on 1 HP. What is this in
Oh
this
yeah.
That is absolutely just menacing. And there it is, the one bullet that Dark ends up just putting in. You know, as soon as
half of his
Waterloo...
body blown off, and he's just like, nah, don't worry, guys, I'm good. I'm still here. I'm still kicking it.
Still kicking it, and honestly, he wasn't kicking it for too much longer. And Waterloo just came out. I was really, like I said, I was getting ready to head on over and get the broom out. I was all in for this reverse sweep. And Waterloo just looked
Same.
phenomenal on defense.
But it was FICO to bring us back down to earth. He said, you guys are doubting me way too much. You guys are not ready for what I have in store. It's a little bit sad. I would have loved to see this game go OT, honestly. But there we go. This is the clutch that basically launched them to OT. This is FICO's hero play that basically brought them back down to earth. And here's that amazing round that the boys on Waterloo had to basically save themselves from going to map 2, even though they do end up going to map 2, no OT, as they did end up losing map 1. But
Oh,
still
map
great.
1? Absolutely, map 1 is in the books. We will head on over to map 2 in a few minutes. We are now going to head to a quick intermission. We
No
will
more
be back.
waffles.
Yes, no more French toast either. We'll be back with the Canadian Collegiate League in just a few minutes. I'll see you then. Going to get planted. Uniquely is almost got it 2-2. Actually finds Sonic. Canadian no name finishes off as Pro. The diffuser planted. Bulbous finds Uniquely. Canadian finds actually the 1v1 scenario with the diffuser down. The big wrap coming in from Bulbous. TMU needs to get this one. He's gonna sneak up right behind him. Can he find him? He knows. He gets it, and Canadian finishes it off. Windsor walk away 2-0 tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Gridlock is in cigar. Gridlock in cigar. He was on piano. On piano. Oh, nice shot. Oh! Oh!
Taking care of open is for the taking, at least unless somebody comes in and tries to play.
Third time's a charm. There you go. Strike via post. Get that mirror window down. Helio ends up finding a second, but Helio finds a third. 4-2. Ladies and gentlemen, do we see the ace, the quad for Helio? Eyeballs the last. There it is. An ace in the pocket of Helio. Helio is back. TMU is back. We are getting closer, but it is still match point.
Windsor has not picked Monty once. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, we're in round 4 right now, and so far. I have not seen a single Monty pickup.
Yeah.
Are we, is it an us thing? Do we just like the Monty a lot? Caught in the rotation hole. Actually, the rotation hole wasn't big enough for you. Uniquely, gonna end up getting the opening pick here of the round for you, Windsor.
And even though it's down to a 2v5, the position they're in right now is so strong that it's gonna be able to get 3 kills! What is going on? Set up the air jabs to watch flanks so they can just get right in there and probably not even have to worry about CCTV or anything. Just get in there and flank that.
1, 2, 3!
1, 2, 3! Boom, boom, boom! Mod wants you in his room!
Holes from below inside. One's on the holes, one on the bird holes. One of the people on chassis. Look below you. Where's last? Oh shit.
Oh wait, I didn't kill him?
Nice go.
On his cam. Still on his cam. Still on his cam right here. Another one's still on his cam. Off cam.
Oh my fucking god!
Last one's master.
Yo, this guy just hit a fucking clip, bro. Holy shit.
Hold on, let me. Oh my fucking god!
Yeah, idiot. So he's gotta watch out for that. Oh, nice one. That Claymore. Gugger with a quick flick into Fountain. Takes down Otter, and he knows through the wall, and he sees it. That's unbelievable, and he gets the call out from his teammate. There's somebody's above hatch, and he makes the play for it. He drops it. Oh my god!
He gets the ace! What?
Defenders have disabled the bomb diffuser. Bomb diffuser.
I spoke too soon. That was...
Attackers have recovered
30
their
seconds left to go. Diffuser going down. Of course it's a bait. Goes for the pre-fire. Doesn't end up finding it, but wraps. And Helio ends up getting the triple kill, tied up 1-1. But the HP bars would say otherwise. The tuber out full. The buck not at all. Down he goes. The buck ends up finding it. Helio getting another one, getting the quad, and putting us 1 up for TMU in overtime.
Je sais pas si Georgian peuvent récupérer de ça.
Oui, on l'a vu.
There's no way. There's no way. No way, bro!
God, quite cool.
What are we doing?
Welcome on back after an intense battle on Consulate. We are heading on in to map number 2, Border, the map choice of ETS Esports. Your victors back there in round 1, and with a 1-0 lead in this best of 3 semifinal, ETS is just one map away from securing their spot in the Canadian Collegiate League Grand Finals. You heard it right there. I'm Zach Vexel, still here on the desk, still with my French toast loving partner, Bianca. How are we feeling after that first round?
Oh my gosh. Guys, if you missed map 1, then I'm sorry to tell you, but you missed an amazing game. The boys on Waterloo and ETS played it and nearly went down to the wire. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, if you're a fan of ETS, then good. They did end up winning 7-5. And as for the boys on Waterloo, well, we'll see if they're going to be able to get it back in blood for map 2 when they bring us over to Border.
Absolutely. For University of Waterloo right now, this is do or die, okay? They've shown flashes of brilliance. Now, though, it's all about the consistency. They are in a fight to force a deciding third map, and I think what could be a great deciding third map. I know if I am Waterloo, I want to be heading over to Nighthaven. I want to be starting on defense there. I want to be holding it all out. We're getting on ready to jump on into map 2, though, to see what Waterloo can do. It's bans time for the operators here on our second map. And are we expecting any change-ups, Bianca?
Honestly, if we're gonna be going Border, I feel like Border, I say this before, but I feel like Border kind of brings out kind of random and kind of not very common bans that you end up seeing. I feel like I see Ace get banned more times or a decent amount of times on a Border. I feel like even Amira would be. I mean, Mira kind of gets banned decently around on a lot of maps, but I will say Border is kind of a coin toss when it comes to bans. And so we will see who the boys on ETS are going to be banning and who the boys on Waterloo are going to be banning as it's about to come up right now. I'm sure Monty will be the first one, but never mind. I was wrong. There we go. It's going to be a Ram.
Ram getting knocked on off the board. And honestly, when I look at some of this stuff, Border is really known for its fast-paced engagements and very narrow checkpoints. So I do expect a lot of close quarters action and some very wild plays. So knocking out the Ram with our R4C, I think that's a really great thing to do. And to back it up, the Monty, when we're talking about close quarters, getting up in the face of people, who does it best? Thing operators like Monty, like Blitz, two people who you really don't want running at you, especially with a team of heavy hitters right behind. Two great operators get knocked off right out of the gate, but now looking over at the defensive side of things, you were talking about the Mira, someone who does very phenomenal in those close quarters. It is going to be Echo getting removed. I think this is really interesting.
But see, this is what I said.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me.
Always comes out with these random pans, like weird pans, that it's like, yo, like why? Like, see. No, I literally called it. I literally said it. I'm like, Border's one of those maps where literally anything can get banned. I see the most random stuff get banned, and I think, like, are these people trolling, or is this actually what we're gonna have banned? Like, and not only that, but I mean, Border, having a Valk on the board for Border, I feel like Valk is an amazing map, or an amazing operator for this map, and she's on the board, not even going to be utilized anyways, but still, I'm telling you, Border's a map that just, they got some booky, weird bans that come out, and you're just like, okay.
I think of Border, I think of the amount of very fun spawn peaks that I do on this in rank to help me get through the levels, because that's what I do, and because I rely on catching people off guard. It's strategy, right? That's how that works, you know? Yeah, noob tubing's a strategy, camping's a strategy, you know, even spawn peeking. I think that's a strategy too. Whatever you gotta do to win, right? I mean, you look at what I believe in the last series, both ETS and Waterloo had rounds where they were attempting spawn peaks. I'm gonna put it out there, I saw it. You can't get that past me.
Well, we'll see if they're gonna get past any of the players. I would love to see a spawn peak coming out from either of these teams. And honestly, a map like Border and Cafe, I literally always have to be careful. I literally run up here. This is exactly where I'd be running. And I end up getting hit either from below or from on top by them windows. I don't even know what they'll call it, that window, that little catwalk window. But regardless, I'm always getting hit from somewhere. The windows are very, very, very scary. No spawn peaks, though, coming out at all from either side. However, we are going to have a roaming Lickle Gugger. We'll see how they are going to be able to handle him out. I'm sure that they're going to drone him out and realize somebody is in the basement.
Well, this is a map and site that both demand strong vertical control. We do see the Buck coming in here. I do feel like the Buck came in to play a lot back on Consulate, but didn't really get off what it was intended to do, if you feel what I'm putting down here right now. I think you gotta really utilize the vertical control with this Buck here on this map, and that's also why I do, when I see like the Ram getting banned away, that's another thing in the back of my head. Once we do go down to these lower sites, that vertical control is gonna be so essential. So getting the Ram out of there, she's not gonna be able to tear up an entire floor, an entire ceiling above the head of the defenders, not completely just opening up the whole site and all these angles you have to watch. So I like it. Now, show me a little bit more with just Buck in general, and I want to say that for both teams, you know? I want to see this Buck really just come on out, and I'm going to put a lot of pressure on the Wizify here in round number 1.
We'll see what the boys on ETS are bringing to the table, though. However, there's a minute 20, and I feel like not much has really happened right now. A lot of players are still outside of the building, just making their way through, which, again, I feel like this is ETS's weakest point, is not being able to, you know, make their way in the building fast enough. I mean, although you want to take your time, you want to make sure that you're clearing on everything and you're walking in, you know, to the building without getting instantly killed right as you walk in, but I feel like they just take a little bit too long. However, despite them taking a little bit too long, they will be getting the first pick. It is going to be onto How Ironic, but start to get a kill onto FICO. It's going to be a 4v4 with 40 seconds remaining.
ETS's fragger off the board, a little one-for-one trade scenario. ETS wants to push on in, and I am going to say needs to push on in. Guggerton does get knocked on down by Munchies, but you still got to go through 3 members chilling over on site, and 3 very bunker down heavy defenders. I'm looking at Maestro, Goyo, and Azami right now. Look at the barricades that are put up. I'm sure if we head over to site, and we'll see a ton of just Goyos put up all around, clearly not in front of our Goyo. Dark does knock down Forkies, though. 10 seconds remaining on the clock. Dark finds Munchies as well. Dark with the triple kill. 2 members for ETS are remaining. Time ticking down. They can't get in. Waterloo wins round number 1.
Beautifully done, and there we go. We got those operators. The boys on Waterloo holding it down. Azami playing a critical part in that round, which is why she's such a powerful operator that so many people end up using her. And I mean, she ends up getting banned with that because she's just so great. And I mean, that Dark demonstrated how powerful she truly is. The first round won, and we're going to be going down to Bathroom and Tellers, which I love seeing the Bathroom and Tellers as setup, especially when there's a little bit of an extension into that workshop room. I like seeing that, so maybe we'll see that for the boys on Waterloo as they bring us here for their second defense.
Well, down here in Bathroom Tellers, and I think this is probably one of my pivotal ones for that vertical control. So this is the one where I'm like, okay, make sure you're holding the second floor. It's so critical. And I mean, you could say that a lot about when you're playing lower floor sites, but it just seems like in this one, if you lose that upstairs open area, then that whole Bathroom and Tellers just gets opened wide open like a can opener. Does not feel good. We're taking on down, getting on out of our prep phase. Let's find out if University of Waterloo can keep up some, I should say, should build some momentum here in the second map. They'll look to extend their lead while ETS will aim to crack the defense and even the score. And I gotta say, in that first round, Waterloo looked pretty solid. You know, ETS was not getting in there, and I think we said this a lot back on map number 1. They weren't able to push into the map in general, let alone get even close to the site to push into site. I feel like there's so many things that they have to go through, so many checks that they're trying to check off the list, but they're just not doing that fast enough and not checking those fast enough is what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think that's probably, like I said, their biggest weakness, which although they did end up winning that last map, I feel like if they do continue on with this you know, with this type of offensive strategy, I feel like they're going to end up losing this out and having to be forced into a map 3 because they just don't really know how to delegate their time when it comes to the offense. This is probably the fastest they've been in the building, and it's going to be Munchies, who's going to be in here a minute into the round on that IQ from above. He better be careful, though, as Maji is also going to be a cheeky little booger over by the fountain. There is going to be the Valk who's going to be with him upstairs, who was also going to be helping him out, getting into refrags if necessary. But other than that, it seems like ETS are starting to make their way up, and it's going to be on the second floor first.
Oh, pushing on in. They are getting a little bit of damage off onto the defenders of Waterloo, who are slowly but surely working their way back into sight. I do like that they're getting inside a lot quicker. So what is it that Waterloo can do to extend their lead? I think, do they try to commit a little bit more to the hard bunker down strats that we saw back in the first fight? Just overwhelm ETS with utility that they need to work with? A minute getting down to that 60-second mark. They are opening up the hatches. They're looking to push on in. I think ETS is looking for a push and play.
They are, and with the minute remaining, it seems like they're going to have to start executing fast. Everybody has basically made their way down back into sight. Of course, we had Dark and Maudie fall back. Ironic, though, is going to take down Munchies, and the boys on ETS are going to be at the back foot. They are aware that there is going to be somebody in workshop. It's going to be none other than the Valk. She's able to hold herself out and try and waste a little bit more time as it starts to approach at 30 seconds. Not only is it going to be the Valkyrie workshop, but it will also be Ironic to help her out as well. And hopefully they can close this out as best as they possibly can. The diffuser does try and get planted, but unfortunately Imadi is going to stop it. It just seems like the boys on Waterloo are holding this down beautifully. So even on top of the hatch, it seems like the boys on Waterloo cannot be stopped. And so ETS yet again forfeit their second offensive round because, you know, they're just a little bit too slow.
A little bit too slow. They're not able to get on in there, and now Waterloo extend their lead to 0. University of Waterloo locking down that second round, I think, is a very solid hold. They were so close, like probably within a fraction of a second of actually just getting that into a flawless round, I should say. Unfortunately, dropped one member right at the end. So now you held the second floor, you held bathroom tellers, you're heading down to our opposite side, our last site here on the first floor. And honestly, if they can go a nice 1-2-3 sweep right here out of the gate, it's gonna look pretty good. It's gonna feel like their defensive setups are just proving too tough for ETS to crack, and this momentum could be the turning point they've been searching for in this semifinal matchup.
Well, hopefully that will be the case. I mean, Waterloo being down the map, they want to win this out. They want to force that map 3, and hopefully they can. Their defense is looking great, but on the, you know, on the flip side, ETS's attack just doesn't seem to be that good. It's not just lackluster. It is like it is all over the place. It just doesn't seem like they have a clear blueprint for, you know, how long it should take them to get into the building, how long it should take them to drone everything out, how long it should take them to get an execute down, because it always seems like they're getting executes down when it's way too late. I mean, you know, you can take as long as you want, but if you're not a team that thrives off of the last 10 seconds, which ETS is not a team that is able to kind of play under pressure, doesn't seem like it at all, it's not going to end up working out for you, and it hasn't these last 2 rounds. And realistically, it hasn't worked nearly any rounds at all, even during map 1, so we'll see if they can break this chain and start making their way through a little bit faster and realizing that they can't just, you know, waste all their time and kind of procrastinate outside the building.
Well, what's standing out right now about Waterloo's defensive strategy? I mean, we've seen it throughout here on border. We saw, honestly, I want to say a very similar approach back over on our last map on Consulate, and it felt like ETS were approaching it in a very similar manner until that last round where we saw them switch up and go for a more offensive burst-in strategy. So does something stand out in this Waterloo comp that is just making it too difficult for ETS?
Who knows, honestly? I just feel like ETS isn't that confident.
Right? We don't know.
Yeah, I just feel like they're just not confident. I mean, like, Waterloo is great. We mentioned it last map, but you know, they have this very bunker down kind of, you know, sit tight kind of, you know, strategy when it comes to their defense. But with that, I mean, ETS just seem to be very passive. And I mean, like I mentioned last map, as an attacker, you don't have the luxury of waiting, you know, like a defender for, you know, your enemies to come to you. You got to go to your enemies. And if you're not aggressive enough, then, you know, unfortunately, you're going to miss out on big opportunities and you're going to miss out on a lot of rounds because you aren't able to, you know, get aggressive and get in there. And I mean, ETS is infamous for this at this point. It is, however, a 4v2, so I'm glad that they're able to kind of have this advantage. It's a lot better than previously, but they got to be careful. A 2v4 is still able to come back from that. And I mean, Gug is alive. Oogs, an amazing player as well, nonetheless. However, a 4v2 will quickly turn to a 4v1. It's going to be Gugger who's going to have to clutch it out. Unfortunately, he will not be able to. And I'm glad to see that ETS are a little bit stronger when it comes to this offense now. A great answer for these last 2 rounds and a great way to start the momentum again.
No, a great way, absolutely. And to me, it looked like Waterloo just kind of gave up that second floor control. And we were talking a little bit earlier about how pivotal that needs to be when you're playing lower floored sites, especially here on border. It seems almost essential to hold down that second floor and really make sure you're keeping control. I don't feel like they just gave it up completely, but it just felt like they didn't hold it for as long as they really could have. We saw ETS pushing on in, and I want to say they were opening up hatches and approaching site close to a minute and a half in. And while, yeah, that's really great for, I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's great for ETS. I think that was the switch up that we kind of needed to see from them, pushing on in, getting on in there. It just feels like Waterloo was, what's the word? Relying on Guggerton a lot in that second floor, because I would say that, you know, Guggerton moving around on that Oryx. I think it looked really good, but there's something else. We need a little bit more. Build off of that. We're going to look really great for Waterloo to continue this one on, take us in a very dominant half to try to push us on into a map number 3 scenario. But I have to say, a fantastic bite back from ETS, because that was exactly what they needed. I love doing this back and forth of like, okay, that was great, you know, Waterloo did phenomenal. What does ETS need to do? Now, in that last round, ETS looked phenomenal. What does Waterloo need to do? How can we pick this up for these 2 teams?
It's like ping pong, you know, a team is doing great, they do great that one round, and then ETS or, you know, whatever, are able to kind of bounce back and read into it and are able to come back even stronger. Speaking of coming back stronger, ETS will get the first pick onto Oogs, who's going to be the Azami, and a huge, and I'm talking absolutely massive. The low taper fade meme is still massive, and so is this pick. The Azami probably the most important operator to get on the defense right now. She's going to be gone, but Dark isn't going to let it go without a little bit of get back. Munchie is going to take down this Dogobi. Another big kill for the side of Waterloo. We're back to a 4v4, and a minute has already passed.
It's already passed. Some bullets flying into Mod. Are holding out pretty nicely, but it is a 1-for-1 trade so far. Now, this was a site that they held out, I want to say, pretty dominantly back in the first round. So can they do the same thing again? We're a minute and a half in now, and you're already like, I'm going to say pretty much 2 members down right now. And losing a time operator like Azami that early really creates an impact. We saw that back on Monday in the St. Clair matchup, where the earlier the Azami went off the board, the more difficult it was for the defense. Guggerton, though, is able to rip the Nitro onto Wiz's face. Wizify off the board, and Guggerton 1 on the board in the kill column. 3 versus 4 scenario, man advantage now for Waterloo.
Oh, okay. And with that, it seems like the boys on ETS, however, are doing a little bit better than the first 2 rounds. FICO with that trigger discipline isn't gonna shoot just yet. He will, though, onto how ironic a little bit after the fact. I can't believe he didn't even realize how ironic, didn't even realize that FICO ended up walking in. And FICO, an amazing player. We saw map when he ended up clutching up and getting a 4-piece to bring his team to 2 match point. We'll see if he's going to be able to clutch up this time around. Mod D extremely low, but a game where a headshot means everything. Doesn't matter if you're at 1 HP or 120. You can end up getting that kill. And there we go, Maji. Takedown 1 will get quickly refragged right after. And with 20 seconds remaining, the boys in ETS are either going to have to start getting this execute down, or they're going to have to get the kills and close out this round. Luckily, Otter does have a hold of the bomb. We will see, though, if the boys on Waterloo have a C4. It's not going to be Gugger who has it, but instead, he is going to get picked off by Otter as he gets a double swung, and it's going to be up to Dark, who will not be able to finish it. And there we go. The boys on ETS bring back the score to a 2-2. Beautifully done. FICO with that finishing kill, and we're equaled out.
I was gonna say, Mod getting that one pick at that low of an HP was probably the best thing you could do with his life. Was able to trade it on out for somebody who was full HP and make the scenario nice and even. And things were really looking pretty solid for Waterloo in that instance. Time ticking down. We saw what happens when ETS, when time starts ticking down, you know, they start to panic. They rush on in there, and Waterloo is able to capitalize on that. But in this scenario, they just landed their shots. They looked good. FICO was able to find bam, one, bam, another one, and knock them on down and out of there. ETS have evened this one on out, and on such an important site as well, and I would say the main site on Border.
Hopefully in this round, the boys on Waterloo will be able to bring something a little bit different, as the first 2 rounds are great. These last 2 rounds, ETS have seemed to be outsmarted a little bit. Last round was decently close, but I mean, Waterloo having that single man advantage at one point and then kind of selling it out in a 1v2 isn't really what you want to see. And this is one of the rounds where we're not going to be seeing a Mira get brought. I feel like the Mira was getting brought a lot, but this round she won't be at all. What I do notice too is that a Blitz is going to be swapped off. I would have loved to have seen a Blitz. I think getting in there really fast would definitely throw Waterloo off. But anyways, the round begins. And I mean, like I said, like we can see, it's a tied game right now at 2-2. So we'll see if ETS are going to be able to bring back the disadvantage that they have and put themselves at an advantage.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it right now. Waterloo needs to come out of this with a sweep throughout the rest of this first half. This is kind of essential not only for this game, but for this series, but for their season, okay? This is the determining factor on if they make it to finals or if they play for 3rd place. And I'm going to be entirely honest, what I witnessed on Monday, it's not going to be an easy fight if they make it even to the 3rd place matchup. There needs to be good composure. There needs to be an understanding of when is go time, when is not. 2 minutes left on the clock, 2-2 in this scenario. You know, you're on ETS's map choice. I think that has a lot to say about right now the situation on the board. If you look at just, okay, you're in a 2-2 scenario. You're on ETS's map. They still have to play defense on Border. I think those are the things that are adding up for me right now in determining how this is going for Waterloo.
But this is what I be saying though, like teams have the nerve to pick a map and then they end up, like I said, at the very least, on your map pick, whatever you're on the offense first, you should at least leave split at 2. At the very least. The nerve to pick a map and then be down, no. And ETS is doing great at this. It's their map pick, and we're round 5, and the score is 2-2. You know how great that is? You know how great that is? They still have another 2 rounds to be able to, you know, potentially leave split at 3-3, which is amazing. However, ETS are going to get a couple picks and get picked. It's going to be a 2v2. And now let's make it a 2v1 as FICO is going to take down Ironic. It's going to be up to Dark with an MPX, that pea shooter of a gun. We'll see. I mean, if you play Valk, you got to be great with them headshots, and I'm sure Dark is, but he's going to have to deal with not just 1 player, but 2, and getting sandwiched might not be the most fun for this poor boy. 35 seconds. Not only that, but Otter does have a hold of the bomb. They're going to make their way in through perhaps Fountain, and, well, one will be through Fountain Door, I'm sure, and the other will probably be through that single breach. That it seems like he's going to be swinging out. There is going to be somebody waiting for Dark, and it literally seems like an absolute mirror of the previous round, having FICO on that Ash and having Otter plant that bomb. The bomb is going to get planted. We're in a post-plant situation. He's going to have to deal with not 1, but 2 of fire going out, and at 12 HP, I don't think this is going to be doable unless Dark can make a hero type of play. Unfortunately, He won't be able to. Will be hit off that little catwalk area on the outside. Not even. Oh, yes, he will be. Hit off by that catwalk area on the outside. And ETS are now in the lead.
ETS in the driver's seat, okay? They secured their third consecutive round win on offense on border. They take round 5 on the second floor site twice in a row, and now they pulled ahead. I think this is really huge for the first half for ETS, and I think this is really huge for this series as a whole. Their attacking strategies are hitting their stride, and I'm really loving the adaptations that ETS has made. They're paying off. They are chipping away at Waterloo's defensive setup. I think they're chipping away at Waterloo's just mental setup right now. We're seeing just great plays coming in from ETS. They've gotten more aggressive. They're running on in there, and they are just tearing through Waterloo. So Waterloo just needs to find an answer for the aggression, and you gotta do this periodically throughout a series of a team's gonna find an Did he actually only get half the wall there? I'm sorry, I actually got a little distracted.
I know, I'm looking at that too. Like, what,
I was trying to see if he actually just only got half the wall on that, but he did only get half the wall. How did that happen? What?
I don't even know this guy.
Hold up.
He like Loki flicked though. I don't even think that he meant to toss it the way that he like flicked it.
He just completely derailed me right there. How did that even happen? Do explosions work like that?
He literally
Okay.
like tossed it on the floor though. It didn't even like it was anyways.
Anyways, yeah. Waterloo needs to understand that they have to make adjustments throughout because their opponent's going to make adjustments. ETS is making adjustments. Waterloo, what is your response? I think that's what I'm waiting for.
Let's see how this round pans out. The Mozzie that was banned okay. FICO, a huge kill for the boys on Waterloo. We'll make it a 4v5. And as I was saying, the Mozzie that we didn't get to see at all last game because he was banned is going to be used. I saw him a little bit used a couple of rounds this game, so it's nice to see that he is going to be picked up. And as I was saying, it's also nice to see that Waterloo are going to pick themselves up a kill as FICO. Again, I feel like ETS, they're making their way in decently fast. FICO, unfortunately, is going to get taken out off site, but Gug with a 3-piece right now. Stop the man, make it 4. Looking for the 5th. It will not be possible as he is going to get taken down. It's going to be up to Wiz. He's going to have to look for his ace if he wants to win out this round. But, worst case scenario split is at 3-3, and I mean, that would be great.
Quadra kill for Gug, okay? Really great. Good night, Wiz. It looks like Waterloo's gonna walk away with that round, and I think that was a very much needed win. I'm not gonna even say I think that was a must win. That was a must win, okay? Halftime, 3-3 right now, but we're sending ETS to defense. Again, I need to say it, on border, all right? I think right now, Waterloo has their backs against the wall. This is their match that they need to turn this around, right? And this is, here we go. You know, the cards are in your hand. Show us what you got.
Well, hopefully we'll see. I mean, ETS, like we said, this is their map pick. Now they're on the defense, which, I'm not gonna lie, leaving split at 3-3, this might be wraps. And ETS, last map, they were amazing on defense. Amazing! Leaving
Like,
Waterloo.
all right, see you guys.
Well, I mean, I gotta be honest, it's honestly what I'm thinking, because, you know, take a look at last map. Having Waterloo go down 1-5 after split on their own map pick. Mind you, they were attacking, but ETS on that defense, their defense is great. At least from last map, and look, if this is their map pick, like I said, you got a lot of
right
nerve
there.
if you're gonna pick a map and not, you know, leave split at 2-4.
No,
And
you
I'm not
said
gonna
it
lie,
clearly.
yeah, if ETS are it's their map pick and they're 3-3 on offense, brother, start bringing home, start bringing the horses, start packing up our bags. We're gonna be going to finals, and I think it's gonna be ETS that's going to do it, which is a little bit unfortunate. But hey, look, anything can happen. Waterloo might just really surprise us, but I mean, it just seems like ETS are really in it to win it, especially with this, you know, beautiful round count that they have right now. This 3-3.
3-3 looking pretty good, but it does show them that 3 rounds from offense are winnable. They can make this happen, and we know they started to switch up into more of an aggressive strategy as the rounds were getting later and later, and it looked good, and we liked how it felt from them back on map number 1 on Consulate. So, are we going to see those adaptations get transitioned here onto Border? Does ETS have a response to that? I want to see the aggression come out of Waterloo. I need to see a commanding first round here right now. I feel like they're closing in on ETS. They're gaining pressure. They're gaining momentum. That's cool. Let's see if we can get some finishing kills. And right now, seeing FICO in the red, crawling around on the ground. I think so far, so good. Hold your breath, though, because we had a long way to go. You know what? Maybe don't hold your breath. As Dark knocks down Munchies as well. FICO's alone in the bathroom. He's a non-factor. It's a 5v3, 5v2 scenario as Forkeys ends up taking out Mod in response. 5v3. I can count. I promise.
3v4.
3v4. I can count. I promise. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you're too funny. I'm like 5v3.
It's getting to me. It's getting to me. Yeah.
Brother. Or 5v2, brother. Oh no, there wasn't even 5 alive. There wasn't even 2 alive on either team. I'm not sure where you got those numbers from, but it's all good in the hood.
I didn't see
Just
FICO die.
Just about a minute remaining, and the boys on ETS will be at that man disadvantage, but I'm sure they're able to, I would say, even out the score, especially knowing that Dark is so low. But then again, a game where a headshot can kill you, and that's that. Well, doesn't matter if you're at 1 or at 100. It's all about your crosshair placement. Let's see how well the boys on ETS are able to hold out these next few seconds.
Well, the mirror window shattered. Gonna remove that line of sight. Forkeys pushes on in. Immediately gets traded out by Oogs. A 1-for-1 trade. Now leaving 2 members, finally, for ETS this time around. Getting down to the 30-second mark. And take a look at this. Waterloo is closing in on the site. Outer's able to find Gucker. Drops immediately down. That's gonna help get the pick. Disengage immediately for the mirror. Now is gonna be able to wrap around Waterloo. And when you have one member being a collie chilling around outside, holding down the line, has the diffuser as well, it's going to be very difficult for them to push on in. 10 seconds remaining. They're going to go in for the execute. They have 1 member remaining downstairs from the defense. They just got to get the plant off. Wiz ends up finding how ironic. Diffuser going down. The Nitro is ripped. It doesn't connect, but Wizify ends up rotating out around, finds Oogs, and that is opening defensive round for ETS.
But what did I say? What did I say? The boys on ETS, great at the defense and even greater at bringing it back. The deficit means absolutely nothing to ETS EsporTS. Great clutch, great way to bring it back. And now, not only have you brought it back, you've also secured yourself the advantage of 4-3. It's looking great for them so far. And again, it is their map pick, so I would assume that they're going to be winning their defensive rounds. Now bringing us to Batting Towers.
ETS kicking off the second half, a strong defensive win in round 7, and I do think that needed to be a Waterloo win. I'm gonna say, I know at the start of the round I said that it's very essential for Waterloo to just kind of be commanding here for the offensive rounds, and I meant it. You know, I think that would have been a pivotal moment of saying, hey, we're here, we're still fighting, we're still kicking, and we're gonna really be the thorn in your side right now and show you that offense, defense doesn't matter. Even if this is your map, we are ready to come at you guns ablaze in full force and keep this one going, keep this one alive, keep our season alive. Time ticking down. We're here out of the prep phase, and well, here we go. Do we see some adaptations from Waterloo? They were able to get in there on site, hold some angles. We don't see the collie this time around, but we're seeing a couple more util drop characters, and I'm really looking at that Twitch being added into the lineup. I believe we had the IQ in the previous iteration. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah.
on the offense.
Yes.
Maybe
well, it's
my
not
memory
the IQ
is
on the
still...
defense.
Oh yeah, listen. I'm like, listen. Sometimes, look, you had a little bit of your jumble with that 5v2, and I'm a little bit jumbling over here thinking about that IQ. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I kind of like.
I appreciate the bite back.
No, but not in a bad way. Because I'm literally the same way, as you can see. As you can also see, Otter can't no more, as he is gonna be dead. His eyes are knocked right off out of the sockets. This is going to get taken down. Already the boys on ETS are going to be at the man disadvantage. That is going to be the only other player that is going to be helping out Mr. Munchies. Nobody else is going to be on that second floor with him. Everybody down below by sight. But Madi, you got to be careful. The best Deimos player is going to get taken down. But Gug with the instant refrag. Not only that, though, but somewhere down the line, Dark ended up getting taken down as well. And so with that, equalized down to a 3v3. The boys on ETS looking great with a minute and a half remaining. Same thing for Waterloo, but only time will tell how the round will end and how fast that's going to be. It seems like the entire top floor is going to be taken from the boys on Waterloo as they are going to have full control.
1 for 1, 1 for 1. 3-3 now overall. A lot of picks going each way. We're down to the 60-second mark. Waterloo's closing in on site, but take a look at this. We got one member chilling on site, two members floating around off site. This is not going to be an easy take for Waterloo, especially in such a dangerous scenario. Oogs ends up eating some good damage by Wizify. And take a look at that. Guggerton down as well on the HP. Forky's eats good in return. FICO ends up finishing off Oogs, though, getting that one off the board, making this a man advantage scenario for ETS. For the defense, Waterloo has to push in at the deficit now. Can they make it happen with a pulse roaming around? Has their number. Forky's looks for it and finishes off Gugger. How ironic. I tip my hat to you. I wish you the best. ETS is looking to clean this one up. FICO says, yes, we are. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is round number 8 in the pocket of ETS, putting them at a 5-3 lead.
Yeah, that is, not looking too good. ETS, literally amazing at the defense. I honestly have nothing bad to say about them at all. For their offense, I could say a lot of things, but for their defense, I must say, absolutely doing incredible. Waterloo, I'm just not sure. Honestly, I feel like they're trying, but it just doesn't seem like it's really just a matter of, and I think I said this the first map, ETS just happened to be a step ahead of them. That's just what it is. I'm not sure if it's a skill gap or what, but the defense for ETS seem to be unmatched. Their offense is all over the place, like literally anywhere and everywhere. And it's almost like, how do you guys even win some of these rounds playing like that? But I know why, because they have FICO. That is exactly why they're winning out these rounds. And
oh, come on. Look at Forky's, okay? Forky's has been doing phenomenal.
Great.
Otter's doing great as well. I think they're all doing a phenomenal job. Yeah.
I'm just pulling their tails, I swear. No, they're doing amazing, but I will say FICO is a big contributor to the team and a very, it is a, what is the word? Is it, I don't think it's invaluable. Is it invaluable? It's like when it's extremely, it is extremely like,
yeah,
like
I could see invaluable, a pivotal, you know, both good words to use right there.
He is basically just an essential asset to this team, and he's absolutely incredible. Somebody that you get rid of and it just doesn't feel like it's the same. He's been doing great and his teammates compliment him well. He compliments his teammates well. So I have nothing bad to say. I wish that their offense was a little bit better because I feel like this team could genuinely be, you know, incredible. But then again, they did leave their offense at 3-3 this game. So I'm not displeased with that. I'm actually quite happy. I mean, despite me being a Waterloo lover, I will say ETS is bringing everything. They're bringing everything they got this map. They want to close out as fast as possible. And Waterloo need to start, you know, kind of picking it up and figuring out what they got to do next. Because how ironic was he now? Forky's leaving them at the advantage, but for how long they have the disadvantage, only time will tell, as a minute 40 is what we're looking at.
Need to start turning it up, have needed to start turning it up. This is, I mean, I said a while ago that this is do or die time right now for Waterloo. Guggerton is able to finish off Otter. This is a nice 3v5 scenario for Waterloo. They have two members remaining. I'm sorry, three members remaining, two members off the board. How ironic, rushes on in there, goes for the diffuser plant, does get it off and eats some great damage in return. Wizify ends up finishing off. How ironic. Guggerton's very low, but it is a 3v2 scenario overall. ETS has to reclaim the site, has to find diffuser, has to diffuse it. They did end up getting on top of it. Wizify is going for the damage, but attackers are going to win it. Waterloo have brought it back slightly. It is a 5 versus 4 scenario in this game. So close, but that means now ETS can go back upstairs.
Ooh, there we go. And upstairs is exactly where they're going to be. This might just be their match point. And what I was trying to say was that FICO is indispensable. That is what I was trying to say. However, it doesn't matter
okay.
now. Yes, an indispensable asset. He is great for the team, but unfortunately not great enough to win out that last round. We're going to be at 5-4.
I mean, take a look at him. Back on console, he goes out the first half 9-1, finishes with 17 kills in the game. Okay, cool. You looked good over there. Here he's 9-5 already? Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. We gotta. Meanwhile, he's the only player other than Otter that is positive on the team. But that's okay because then you make a look. You make your way over to Waterloo, and there's only 2 people going positive as well. It's Dark and Gug. Monty, where are you at? I was glazing you like a donut. There was not enough donuts for the amount of glaze I was giving you, and now you're 5-7. What are we doing? Bro, I don't know if you guys. Oh my, was that prod that went? What the bleep? What the fish nugget? What the fish nugget? Oopsies. Anyway, look, Waterloo 1 round away from equalizing out that score to a 5-5. It's doable, and it's definitely within reach. These boys just gotta lock in, and it's gonna be a make or break because if ETS can win this, they're gonna put themselves at match point, which means Waterloo need to win 2 rounds back to back if they want to, you know, think about going map 3 and potentially winning out this whole series.
Getting down a minute off the board. Munchies ends up finding the opening pick onto Guggerton, the kill leader for Waterloo. Definitely a great one to knock off the board. But Mods turns it right back around, says Munchies, good night. Grab a snack, why don't you, while you enjoy the gray screen, my dear friend. 4 versus 4 scenario. Waterloo pushing on in, trying to knock down members, trying to strip away utility. This is not going to be an easy take. This is the primary site here on border. Wizify is going to finish off Dark. 1 member off for Waterloo. Man advantage now in favor of ETS. We have a minute and a half left to go here in round number 10. That separates Waterloo from a tie or match point.
See, Mod seems to be taking a little bit of damage, but not enough to really put that much of a dent in him. The boys on ETS with that man advantage, but we need to see a bit of a hero play nearly coming from the side of Waterloo if they want to win this out, because ETS absolutely great at being able to hold down a site, especially on that defense. Otter will take down Ironic, and the boys on Waterloo are going to be at a 2-man deficit now. It's going to be up to Oogs and Mod D, a sniper and a pistol, but minus the pencil scratch, all of that. And the boys on ETS have now secured themselves match point and perhaps even series point.
ETS Esports has secured round 10 and pushed themselves to match point on border. And like you said, Bianca, series point. Timeout is called by University of Waterloo, and I don't blame them for this one. They are now just 1 match away. ETS is now just 1 round away from closing out the series and advancing to the Canadian Collegiate League Grand Finals to face off against St. Clair. Bianca, Waterloo's backs are against the wall. This is honestly do or die for this timeout. I can't even say do it. This is the final straw for this final moment, the last chance they could call this timeout, they decided to do it right now. What are some things we think University of Waterloo needs to pull out of this to stay alive in this semifinals? They're close here, but what is missing?
I think a lot of the time is they end up just losing advantages. I'm not they a lot of the time end up having a man or two up, and then they kind of just, I don't know, let it marinate for a little bit too long, and they end up kind of losing focus of what's really at hand. Because honestly, Waterloo's pacing, attacking isn't horrible. I just genuinely think that ETS has an amazing defense, a defense that is literally almost impenetrable. That is literally all I can say, because take a look. 3 rounds out of the 4 that we have for the defense of ETS, and they won them all. Waterloo cannot get a single offensive round in. Meanwhile, ETS was able to win 3 offensive rounds, and I believe they ended up doing it like back to back to back. Like they ended up winning 3 rounds just straight flush. So it's like, oh my god, I genuinely just think, I mean, not only that, but it's ETS's map pick. Like I said, it's not much that I can say about that Waterloo can really improve as much as it's just ETS happen to have this man advantage. And I'm not sure if Waterloo kind of have to surprise ETS with something that has never been done before, but well, as I say that, we have a blast, we have a fuse shield, and a blitz. So maybe this will be the needle in the haystack that we find that will help Waterloo to be able to at least win themselves one more round. And actually, speaking of that, a plant is going to be going down. The blitz is already down, but the diffuser is already done and dusted. With that, a 5v3 though, and they're already going to start defusing this bomb, and they try to, will not work. One goes down and make it to as Madi will take a 2 for him before getting taken out. And the attackers, oops, with that final kill. A great and fast round. I was literally saying, maybe they just need a round where they're, you know, doing something out of the ordinary. They need to get that needle in the haystack and really pin it to ETS. And so they did. But
what did I just witness? Hold on.
Like
let's pause for a moment, okay? I'm like, let's hold on right now. Let's pause for a moment. Arsene, can we get a production pause? Is that okay? Can I just like assess what I just witnessed? Okay, Waterloo takes a timeout and they come in. Not guns blazing, shields blazing, and just rush straight on in and just go for an instant plant within 30 seconds, get it off, okay, defend it, and then just kill all the defenders who are running out trying to stop them, and they walk away with a round victory in under a minute? It is such a dire scenario.
Yo, ETS could never do that. The way that these guys move like snails when they're on the offense, brother. ETS could never do that. ETS, take notes. I need y'all to start making your way into the building a lot faster, brother, because that is what we strive to be like. Waterloo bringing all of that action, all of that excitement, but will it be all in vain? This round will tell us so, and it doesn't seem like they're going in for that fast push no more. Madi back on his Madi-ish. He's gonna be on that Deimos.
I think that was something you can do in one round, and great, it looked good, cool, let's change things up here. Wizify knocks down, how ironic for the opening pick. Guys, let me know in chat, after that last round, just start shouting out, who do you have? Are you pulling out Waterloo right now? Are they going to tie this one on out? Or is ETS going to the grand finals? Let us know right now. It comes on down to this 5 versus 4 scenario, man advantage for ETS. Push on in as Dark knocks down Wizify. Technically a refrag, a long way to refrag, a much needed one. We're all evened on out, not even 60 seconds into the round, and take a look at the push incoming from Waterloo. They are closing in on ETS very quickly, definitely not as quickly as the last round though, but it's getting kind of tight in here.
Oh yeah, it's getting a little bit tight. It's getting hot in here. So pull out all your guns. I am getting headshots, and the headshot is gonna be onto Dark.
1 HP.
1 HP and a dream right now, and oh my god, a near wall bang. And brother better be careful of 4v3. The boys on ETS will still have that man advantage, but how long will it last? They know that he's there and he's taken out. That's Mod D to take down the Pulse, and we're back to an evened out playing field. For how long we will find out. Gug knows somebody is up above, and he's just waiting for an opportunity to get him really where it hurts.
Well, the Fenrir does track out the... I'm sorry, Fenrir gets called out by the Deimos. It is a 3v3 scenario getting down into the final 60 seconds. This could be the final 60 seconds of Waterloo season here in making it to the grand finals, knocking them on down to that third place match. What will come of this scenario? ETS needs to hold on out and they will secure their position. Otter is making sure that happens as he knocks down Mod. Damage onto FICO as he's trapped in the corner. Fire, blazing bullets flying and ripping on through. 30 seconds. FICO is eating some shots. FICO's eating all the shots. FICO is down by the hands of Oogs. Guggerton ends up getting traded out by Munchies. Munchies ends up going down to Oogs. 1v1. Oogs goes for the plan. 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Otters rotates on and throws the nitro. And that's how it's gonna end. That right there does it. ETS are going to the grand finals with a nitro cell kill.
Honestly, well deserved. I gotta say ETS, a team that I honestly don't get to cast that much, but I will say they've definitely made an impression on me, and I'm nothing more than impressed and honestly satisfied with their performance. I think they did amazing today, and I'm glad that we ended up getting to commentate this. Congratulations to ETS for securing yourselves a grand final spot. As for the boys on Waterloo, we'll see you in that third place match. And before anything else, let's take a look at the replays from today's match on Border.
Honestly, just great action, and ETS really showed why they picked this map. We see immediately, you know, we're talking about all these members from ETS just putting up some good numbers. Faco, Forky's, Otter just leading the charge for this team, being this three-way wedge. You know, it didn't feel like any one member here on this map was standing out, but I tell you what did stand out. This push right here from Waterloo was so critical in my eyes. It was just such a massive... I can't even describe it. I can't put it into words what happened. I was so impressed, and I loved every moment of it, and I was rooting for Waterloo all the way to the end to see what was coming out with. They were pulling out all the stops throughout the end. And, you know, ETS just comes out. They seal the deal, a decisive win. They take map 2, and they secure their spot in the Canadian Collegiate League Finals. Really strong defensive plays, clutch moments throughout the series, and they prove to be just the difference maker against a determined University of Waterloo.
I mean, Waterloo, it did great, but unfortunately, I will not lie. Like I said, they got some nerve picking Consulate and then going down 5-1. I don't know. I don't like the sound of that. I think we need to stay off of Consulate. I don't even like Consulate to begin with.
I love Consulate.
I'm not even going to lie. Brother, nobody's with you on that. I'm not going to lie.
What do you mean? It's only been reworked how many times?
But honestly, a valiant effort from Waterloo that, like you said, that second last round where they ended up doing that really fast push. I mean, it was great, and it was something that they really needed. Unfortunately, it's just the momentum wasn't enough off of that last round. It just, the boys on ETS were able to adapt to that. And although it did come down to a 1v1 very close to the wire, you know, there's a lot of rounds that ended up coming close to the wire, and a lot of rounds that the boys on both ETS and both Waterloo ended up clutching up and really bringing, you know, the round win for their team. Unfortunately, though, as for Waterloo, well, they're going to get swept up 2-0. And as for ETS, like we've stated, they've secured their spot in that grand final game.
Grand finals going up against St. Clair. It's gonna be an absolutely exciting one. Look forward to it. However, while Waterloo has been knocked down, they are most certainly not out. They will be competing for third place. We're gonna be calling it right on there. Honestly, a very phenomenal series, a very phenomenal night. Congratulations to ETS for their incredible performance, and hats off to Waterloo for an impressive run in making this semifinal a thrilling contest. Bianca, any final thoughts on ETS's victory?
Well, all I gotta say is congratulations to ETS for making it to the final. On behalf of all of the production, all the staff at CCL, thank you guys so much for joining us on this not so typical Wednesday night. Usually we'll have it on the Monday stream, but the Wednesday night for this semifinals game. Thank you guys so much for watching, even if it was just for this little bit. And we will be seeing you guys hopefully when this grand final game happening. Which any word on what day that grand final is happening? Next Monday? Question
I
mark.
believe it's a 2-week break. I believe it's a 2-week
2 week
break.
break.
We're
So
gonna give.
not the next Monday, but maybe the next Monday. But we'll see. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody that watched the stream. Have yourselves a great night and a great rest of your week. This is me and Zet. Signing out. Peace, guys.